Ride-sharing apps have reshaped how billions move through cities every single day. A stranger taps a phone, a car arrives within minutes, and suddenly two lives intersect in a fleeting transaction that feels both futuristic and routine. These services do more than transport people. They redefine trust, challenge ownership, and mirror the pulse of modern society. Today, we explore the cultural significance of ride-sharing apps from their scrappy beginnings to their global footprint. The story begins in 2009 when Garrett Camp could not find a cab in San Francisco after a night out. Frustrated by the expense of splitting a private driver, he sketched an idea on a napkin. What if everyone could summon a town car with a single button? Camp partnered with Travis Kalanick, and together they launched Uber Cab as a black car service for tech elites. Early rides cost 1.5 times a taxi fare, yet demand exploded. Within a year, the company dropped cab from its name and pivoted to everyday drivers using personal vehicles. That shift turned a luxury experiment into a mass-market revolution. Growth demanded constant reinvention. Uber introduced UberX in 2012, allowing anyone with a 4-door car and a clean record to become a driver. Lyft entered the scene the same year with pink mustaches on car grills and a friendlier vibe. Both companies poured venture capital into subsidies that kept fares artificially low, training riders to expect convenience over cost. By 2014, ride-sharing operated in dozens of countries, each launch accompanied by regulatory battles, driver protests, and headlines about safety. Technology evolved in parallel. Real-time GPS replaced dispatch radios, dynamic pricing replaced fixed meters, and rating systems replaced anonymous transactions. Every upgrade nudged culture closer to on-demand living. Cultural significance emerges in layers. First, ride-sharing eroded the ritual of car ownership. Millennials delayed licenses, urban dwellers sold vehicles, and parking garages lost tenants. A 2017 study found that each shared car removed up to 13 private vehicles from roads in dense cities. Second, the apps democratized entrepreneurship. Immigrants, students, and retirees earned flexible income, though gig classification sparked debates over labor rights. Third, ride-sharing reshaped nightlife. Bars extended hours, designated drivers became optional, and spontaneous plans replaced rigid schedules. Fourth, the apps exported American tech culture abroad, often clashing with local norms. In Paris, taxi unions blockaded roads. In Jakarta, motorcycle hail services like Gojek layered ride-sharing onto two-wheeled chaos. Each market adapted the model to its streets and sensibilities. Data reveals deeper shifts. A 2023 report showed that 40% of riders in major cities use ride-sharing at least weekly, surpassing public transit for short trips. Women cite safety features like shareable trip links as reasons to choose apps over walking alone at night. Seniors book rides to medical appointments when family members live far away. During the pandemic, contactless delivery options kept essential workers moving while traditional taxis faltered. Ride-sharing even influenced language. Terms like Uber entered everyday speech as a verb for rapid transport. Joining Google in the lexicon of tech-turned titles, surprising details hide in the margins. Uber once operated a submarine service in Australia to view the Great Barrier Reef. Lyft tested self-driving cars in Las Vegas casinos before scaling back. In India, Ola Auto connects passengers to three-wheeled rickshaws, blending old infrastructure with new code. Drivers in Mexico City play podcasts to passengers, turning commutes into mobile classrooms. One Tokyo study found that elderly riders rate drivers higher when conversations touch on family, revealing how apps foster micro-bonds and megacities. Another quirk, surge pricing during rainstorms, trained entire generations to refresh apps obsessively, gamifying weather itself. Ride-sharing also carries shadows. Cities accuse apps of congesting streets and undercutting public transit funding. Drivers report earnings below minimum wage after expenses. High-profile incidents forced companies to add panic buttons and background checks. Yet competitors keep entering the field. Bolt in Europe, Didi in China, Careem in the Middle East. Each iterates on the formula with local tweaks. Electric scooters and bike shares now sit inside the same apps, hinting at a future where mobility blends seamlessly across wheels, pedals, and rails. The cultural footprint extends to media. Television shows depict characters summoning rides with a flick, normalizing the gesture for viewers worldwide. Memes celebrate 5-star passengers and roast 1-star complainers. Songs reference late-night Ubers home. Fashion brands sell merchandise mimicking driver dashboards. Even art installations recreate the glow of phone screens inside dark cabs, inviting reflection on digital intimacy. Looking ahead, autonomous vehicles promise the next leap. Companies test robotaxis in Phoenix and Singapore, removing human drivers from the equation. Cultural questions follow. Who tips a machine? How do riders occupy empty seats? What happens to millions of gig jobs? Early riders describe eerie silence without small talk, suggesting the apps may soon trade human connection for perfect efficiency. Ride-sharing apps began as a solution to empty cabs and ended up rewriting urban life. They taught strangers to trust algorithms, turned cars into shared resources, and made mobility feel as natural as checking email. Next time a notification pings and a stranger pulls up, consider the decades of code, capital, and culture compressed into that arrival. The ride lasts minutes, but the impact lingers far longer. If this journey through streets and screens sparked curiosity, subscribe to Objectified for more stories behind everyday things. Drop a comment with your wildest ride-sharing tale. We read every one. Hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep noticing the objects that shape the world.